and Spider-Man 2, The Amazing Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and Into the Spider-Verse are all better than Far From Home or Homecoming.
I can see that. Maybe not the Andrew Garfield movies.
Right.
But, yeah.
Yeah. Well, funny, that was what I got the most. I loved Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man. I really did love those movies. The second one...
No,
not
in
so
all
much.
fairness, like with Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man, brilliant. Andrew Garfield as Peter Parker, not so much.
Okay.
Like I didn't really buy him as this kind of nerdy, down in his luck type guy because he's far too attractive.
Okay.
Not that I would know, but anyway.
Well, this is awkward.
But no, the Amazing Spider-Man 2 is a colossal mess of a movie. Like
it is.
It's like an eaten mess. Like it still tastes nice, but just what the hell is it to look at?
The high points in it are so high.
Yeah, but the trouble is they're juxtaposed by having such low points.
And Gwen Stacy's death has such an impact.
Horrifying,
it's
man.
Such an impactful
so
scene.
horrible.
I remember watching it with my kids, and my wee girl was just like, she was like, "Is Gwen dead?" And I was like, "No." Yes, I'm not sure. And then I was like, shit, she's dead,
Yeah.
And I remember my wee girl was just traumatised by that movie.
Yeah.
And even watching it, to me, it's probably one of the most powerful comic book movie deaths.
Yeah. See, the trouble is with me is that, see, with Sony over the last couple of years there, I think they got very lucky with Into the Spider-Verse, but I think that was down to the duo that had written the Jump Street duo.
Yeah, Lord and Miller.
But
they're overseeing their Spider-Man universe now.
Yeah.
That's their...
But it's the people on top that make me go, oh God.
Because we've still got Amy Pascal. And is it
with
Tom
Rothman who murdered Deadpool,
stitched up Deadpool's mouth,
and destroyed the X-Men franchise over at Fox for years. Now he's working for Sony. Brilliant. We have Amy Pascal, who we have so many issues with, and we
Ghostbusters.
And we have, there's someone else as well that's involved with Sony that I'm not a big fan of either, but it's Avi Arad, who is a box of cats. He shouldn't be allowed anywhere near Spider-Man, after what he's done to the last one, because anything that is wrong with Spider-Man that you've seen over the last couple of years, like Spider-Man 3 for example, he's at the forefront of it. Ousting Sam Raimi to make The Amazing Spider-Man, that was Arad that did that. He's still there at Sony, and it's just, I would rather take my chances with Peter Parker being in the MCU.
Yeah, I get that. I do get that.
Than I would with this, because for me, Venom was an unmitigated mess. I struggle.
Apparently, it was Tom Rothman.
Yeah.
Apparently, he came in and reshot that.
Because he's a micromanager.
Yeah. And Kevin Feige apparently did have something to do, because apparently Feige helped with Spider-Verse and Venom, but was uncredited.
Well, in all fairness, Feige has been involved as far back as even Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
He had a hand in that. He was like, no, you have to change this, you have to do that, otherwise this movie makes no goddamn sense. They didn't listen to him, the movie failed, and that's where this deal came from in the first place. But no, it's the fact that there are so many cooks in that kitchen. It astounds me that Venom made as much money as it did. It astounds me that Into the Spider-Verse was as amazing as it was.
Yeah.
It's a spectacular movie. It's easily the best Spider-Man movie to date.
But do you not think that if Sony... Into the Spider-Verse is one of my all-time favourite comic movies, and it's probably my favourite Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
I liked Venom. I didn't love it, but I liked it. But do you not think that if they can take the brilliance of the brilliance of Into the Spider-Verse and the success of Venom, because we know already Venom 2 is going to be a hell of a lot better from what we're hearing.
Yeah, because Andy Serkis is involved.
Serkis directed. But do you think that if they can do that, if they can get their heads together, if they can let Lord and Miller pull this universe together, that there is hope that Spider-Man could...
There's always hope, yes. But my big worry with it is, what if that's a fluke? Because, I mean, you have to remember, there's a reason why this deal came about in the first place. It's because Sony didn't know what the hell they were doing with Spider-Man. And, Amazing Spider-Man 2, you may like it. A lot of people didn't. It tanked.
Oh yeah, no, it completely tanked.
Because they made a balls of it. Because they made the same mistake twice. Where they rushed everything.
Yeah, and you can see it was like setting up this and setting up that and introducing this and introducing that.
And it completely derails the movie every 5 seconds. So that's my worry now going back into this again. Like, what's given me a little bit of hope is the fact that instead of trying to do everything in the one movie, Sony have very wisely went, okay, well, we'll make a Kraven the Hunter movie, and we'll make a Morbius the Living Vampire movie, and we'll make a Venom. So they get to set it all up in their own little movies before they do the big crossover. My one worry is now that just everyone's kind of done with this now. Like, because, I mean, like, for me, I'm kind of done with Marvel in general after Endgame, because Endgame, to me, it felt like the end. I felt like that's it, the universe is done, it's closed over. Far From Home's a little epilogue, and then that's it. It's over with. I have no interest in any of the movies that Marvel have unveiled so far, because I know it's just going to be more of the same.
Yeah.
It's going to be more standalone movies with these characters, and it feels like such a moot point now. Because it's over and done with. Like, we've seen the Infinity Saga, and, like, you know, what's next? Galactus? How's that going to be different? I'm not interested. So that alone, and that's the golden goose right there that started with Iron Man and it's ended with Endgame. Like, if I'm not interested in that, what hope do I have of being interested in going to see Morbius the Living Vampire?
Yeah. There is a feeling overall of people just thinking, right, we've had enough now. Endgame was the end.
Yeah, we need a break.
You know, even at San Diego Comic-Con this year, they announced all those new movies and TV shows, and the overwhelming feeling from everybody, and I'm talking about, like my brother is the biggest Marvel fan on the planet, and even he was like, I don't really care. Like,
yeah, and what?
I don't really care, you know. And everybody felt that way. And it's not because of female characters or different races or any of that crap. Yeah. People are just tired now. I think they're just like, right, that story has ended.
Yeah,
I invested 10 years in that story and it's over.
I mean, like, you know, you love a good box of donuts, but you don't want to keep eating them.
Yeah, you see, that to me is the problem with Marvel, is that it always felt like they were making the same movie over and over again. You know, even though halfway through the Infinity Saga they said, right, we're done with origin stories and stuff, and then they just kept making origin stories.
Buy product, consume.
Yeah. Buy
more product, consume. You know, it's like you need a purse of Ray-Bans to kind of see through the bullshit, you know.
Yeah. The plus side of this is that it's kind of cool that somebody has said no to Marvel.
Yeah.
Which nobody seems to be doing now.
To be quite honest with you, I think if Sony are smart, they'll be renegotiating this deal.
Right.
Because realistically, if you sit and think about it, I think the reason why Venom was as popular as it was, why it made as much money as it was, is because a lot of people thought it was connected to the MCU.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think you're absolutely right. But I think if Tom Holland keeps playing Spider-Man for another 2 movies and they continue that story, people are still going to keep thinking that.
I don't know, because, okay, say if this was 10, 20 years ago, before the internet, before all this carry on, I would say you'd be right, and people wouldn't know the difference, and people wouldn't be going out and picking up copies of Empire or whatever, or watching Siskel and Ebert or whatever the hell it was, where they got their news, teletext. But anyway, like, they wouldn't know. So, like, the first time they see a poster for Spider-Man 3, or they see a trailer for it, they'll go, this is the next one.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm going to go watch this. And maybe most of them wouldn't even realise that the Avengers aren't mentioned in this, or that there's something weird and off about this. Like, they'll just go ahead and watch it and go, it's weird that Nick Fury never showed up. But they wouldn't care. These days, it's a completely different bag of tricks altogether, because social media and the internet. Within hours of this announcement, there were fan petitions going around going, boycott Sony, boycott this, boycott that, boycott the other. I think they will. No. That's the thing. I think it will take a huge dive over this.
I don't think they will. I honestly don't think they will. I don't think they will. I don't think they will. I really don't. I can understand why you think that. Yeah. I just don't think.
But, like, look at the outrage. Look at the backlash.
I know, but so what? People are outraged about everything. Do you know what I mean?
I know, but now the thing is, these days people are acting on it.
Are they though? Because they did with Star Wars. Star Wars to me is the only place where you can actually see that they did act on it. Whenever Solo took an awful blow, which is a shame because it was a good movie. But what I think is that no matter how outraged, right? You're outraged. Just say, for example, you're outraged, right? Hell with Marvel and Sony or whatever. 2 years from now, when the next Spider-Man movie comes out with Tom Holland, which picks up from the end of Far From Home, you're going to go and see it.
Well, I have to go and see it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if it's a good enough movie, you're going to go and see the next one.
Yeah.
So what?
But I think it's that outrage that'll drive people to go and the hell with that.
I don't care how outraged people are. I think Sony can't lose in this one. Now, they have to keep making a good product, of course, but I don't think they can lose in this one. I think they make the next movie. If they make it good, they're okay.
But the trouble is, won't it eventually trail off?
Maybe, but isn't it all going to trail off?
I know, but like if you really sit and think about it, the reason why Homecoming was as successful as it was, because Homecoming had no business doing as well as it did. Far From Home had no business making over $1 billion.
Can we go off on a wee tangent for a second? Have you been reading this thing about Disney's profits for the last few years?
No, what's this?
So, this woman, I believe it was a woman who used to be an accountant for Disney.
Alright.
For like 17 years or whatever. In 2007 she was let go. They had a big clear out of staff and blah blah blah, and they got rid of her. And she has come out and said that Disney have been lying about their profits in the hundreds of millions for the last few years.
Really?
Which got me thinking, because she said that what they've been doing is they've been increasing their top line by giving away free gifts and days here and days there, but making it out that they were sold and blah blah blah, which is out of millions. Do you remember when Captain Marvel came out that there was this whole thing going on about cinema screens that were sold out?
Yeah, but
and people
like,
saying there's nobody in that screen.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is people need to be looking at that.
Interesting.
Because I think something happened with Spider-Man as well, because I don't think Spider-Man was that big. And why did they re-release it again this week?
Yeah.
I'm telling you
I think
there's something going on with all this.
Yeah.
And the Sony deal as well.
Yeah, especially if they're bartering to get more money.
Yeah. Because remember the movie had to make $1 billion or Spider-Man wasn't going to be safe?
Yeah.
And now they're re-releasing it, even though apparently it did make the $1 billion, and there's this whole thing. Disney stock has taken an awful plummet because of this story. People are saying the Sony stock has. It hasn't. It's a lie. It hasn't. I just think there's something very untoward happening here.
Boy, being a comic book movie fan is fun.
It's weird, isn't it? But you remember that whenever the Captain Marvel came out, like people that were working in the cinemas were coming out and going, these seats have all been bought, but there's nobody in the screen.
Yeah, what the hell's going on?
It didn't even make sense to me. Why would you buy a screen full of and then not go? It's because you're making your top line look good.
Yeah.
And if Marvel own all these thousands and thousands of companies, take from here, put it in there, take from there, put it here, take it there, put it... The money gets lost in this big maze, and all of a sudden your top line looks incredible when in fact you're not actually doing that well. That's not to say they're not doing well. They're probably doing amazingly well. They absolutely are doing amazingly well.
Yeah, they're not just doing as well as they're saying.
There's something, I think, to this. It's very, very strange. And then Sony pulled the plug on the same day. It's weird, like.
Yeah, it's weird.
It is weird.
Gotta love a good conspiracy theory.
I know. I'll be up all night now, like the Midnight Caller.
Yeah.
On all the old conspiracy sites. But anyway, yes, so that's it. So you think Sony have made a mistake here?
I don't think they've made a mistake. I just think that it was, like, on the surface level anyway, it was more beneficial to have the deal than not to have the deal.
Right.
Because, you know, like, you want access to all levels of the sandbox, don't you?
You do, of course, yeah.
So it's sad that it has broken down. I don't think it's a done deal yet, because I think if anything at this point, because I think that it was Variety that first broke this, wasn't it?
Deadline or
whoever it was that broke it. I think they're the ones that Sony always go to in order to get.
Apparently they released the statement to Deadline and made it very favourable to them.
Yeah, so I'm guessing here that this is a power play by Sony.
Yeah, no, I think every deal is. I think you're absolutely right.
But to announce it in this way,
right? This
is to judge the public's reaction to it. What would the public's reaction be like if Spider-Man were to be removed from the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
But do you think that would they have needed to do that? Like, surely they should know what the reaction's going to be.
But why did they do that though?
I don't know.
Exactly, it was to test the waters.
Yeah, I get the feeling that Kevin Feige is the problem here. Not from Disney's side. I think Sony just don't like Kevin Feige.
I don't see why though.
I just get that feeling. Because if you ever look at the interviews with her and him and Amy Pascal and stuff, I know Amy Pascal, I can't stand the woman. But
no, me neither.
I just always, because every time she would say something, he'd be like, you know, and I just get the feeling that
it's because Kevin Feige knows how to play the game.
Yes.
Amy Pascal.
I'm not saying anything against